So now check design you understood. So this is a basic check which we have to perform before building a clock tree to make sure that any of the particular flops doesn't have any clock attribute defined to it in a constraint, or any of the particular metal layers which are not defined for building a clock tree. So it is all related to your clock related constraints. Okay, so those things has to be taken care. Okay, and to define which other particular clocks are there in a design, so you can use a command called as get clocks, or you can use a command called as all underscore clock to get the clock definitions in your design. Okay, so get underscore clocks will give you only the clock name. Report clocks will give you the entire description about the clock. Report underscore clocks. Okay, so here you have a particular clock which is a P clock, ref clock, and a scan clock, which are having the waveform of with a period of 3.6 and 8.6. Okay, here also the attribute also will be defined whether the particular clock is a propagated clock or a generated clock or unexpanded generated clock. Okay, so these are my main clocks. So I don't have any attributes something like propagated or a generated. Okay, so this is one thing. Okay, so next, after defining your particular clock tree, the first thing what you have to do for it is the NDR rules. Basically, we define the NDR rules for a clock nets only to make sure that we avoid the EM and the crosstalk issues in the clock nets, because these clock nets are very high switching nets and operate at a very high frequency. So that is the reason we have to take a special care of building these particular clock nets. So what are the particular special attributes? That is like you follow the NDR rules. That is a double spacing, double width, or it can be a double spacing, triple width, or triple spacing, double width, or single spacing, double width. So it depends on the user convenient. Suppose if I'm working for a very, very high frequency, I can have a double spacing and double width. If not, if it is very high frequency in terms of gigahertz, so what I can do, I can have a double spacing, double width. Along with the double width, I can have even a clock shielding also. Suppose I'm not working for very high frequency, I'm working for a low frequency, not very low, at a medium frequency, something like 1 gigahertz or something. Okay, or 900, 800 megahertz. For that, I can have something called as double width, single spacing. So like that, depending on your design and how much area you have in your design, based on that you can choose what type of attribute or NDR rules has to be defined. Okay, so here we have defined something like create routing rule, and we have defined the rule name as clock underscore rule, and defined the width of the metal layers which are used for building your clock tree. So we are using M4, M5, M6 and M7 because M8 and M9 are used for building your power mesh. And the spacing also are defined as 0.056, 0.056, 0.056 and 0.05. So this is nothing but your single spacing. So we are defined as double width and single spacing in this design. Okay, and after defining the particular clock rule, we have to set this particular clock rule to where and all it has to be applied. Okay, so those particular rules are, your set clock routing rule hyphen clocks, and you're defining for all the clocks. In this, you're defining the net type as internal or it is defined as a root. Okay, what do you mean by internal and what do you mean by root? You have something called a root, branch, right? So what do you mean by internal and what do you mean by root?
Root in the sense the main clock from where we're branching out all the branches. That main.
Exactly, exactly. So if I want to draw it, I can show it.
So does internal mean the leaf level?
Correct, exactly. Suppose if this is my particular clock port, if this is my clock port, okay. So from this particular clock port, or it can be an instance, the clock instance where my clock is propagating. So clock is propagating all over the design. Okay, so either it can be from the port or it can be from the component, cell component, and from there the particular clock will be propagated to all your flops. That is nothing but your leaf. Okay, so this main branch I call it as a root, means like from the particular clock component the clock is getting derived, and from there it is reaching to all the flops, or it can be reaching to other clock components also. So this I'll call it as a leaf and a clock. Flops, that is their sync points, and these all are your particular leaves of your clock tree. So this I'll call it as an internal. For this particular internal, we may not be able to use a very higher. Okay, so my clock tree is built. Okay, so to understand how the particular clock tree is built in my design, what I can do is like I can go to highlight, color by, and you can choose your clock tree. Go to highlight, color by, and here you can choose clock tree. And you have a column which tells you the different clock trees. Okay, you have a P clock, you have a ref clock, and you have a scan clock. You can just select any one of the particular clock, apply, which will tell you how the particular clock tree is built. What is the source point? What is the source point and how it is being propagated? Okay, and then how it is actually connecting to the other things. So this particular is defining the level and the logic depths. Level 0, how many nets are there, level 2, level 3, level 4. So how the particular clock tree is built. If you consider the other clock, that is the ref clock, this is how the ref clock is built in your clock tree. Okay, so from this all whatever you see the purple color, right, this purple color is your main branch, blue or purple. From there it is going to all your leaf components. So from here this is your particular end buff, that is a clock tree buff. From here it is distributing to the leaf cells. So here it is distributed to the 4 cells, and from this leaf buff it is distributed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So this is how actually your clock tree has been built. So this is your buffer tree architecture. So these are your list of components. So from this it is communicating to PLL. From PLL you are getting all the clock tree built. Okay. So now if you see your ref clock, scan clock, this is how the scan clock is built in your design. Okay, so this, as you're seeing in a GUI, we can also see it in terms